I've just been sitting here and thumbing through the newspaper and watching the news, and I really just need to find new hobbies in life. Everything I seem to enjoy is perhaps illegal. Everything from drones, fast cars, guns, sex. Wow, yeah, really. I'm always kind of trying to skirt that. The big story on all the news channels and on the radio on the way in, their top of the hour news story. Apparently, somebody decided it was a good idea to fly one of these remotely piloted aircraft close to one of the runways at JFK at 1,500 feet. I don't know what the fuck anyone's thinking at that point.
Is that what that's about?
Yeah. Some Air Italia, Mamma Mia, was coming into Kennedy and reported a drone, an unmanned vehicle, in their line of sight. It landed without incident or anything, but I guess air traffic control put a little message out. It was on the news. It was pretty quick. Maybe we could grab it somewhere. I don't know. It was on CBS, and it was on 1010 Wins. But, they had to put out a little alert to other planes coming in that this pilot had spotted something that was flying at 1,500 feet by one of the runways. So then, of course, I get, "Hey, Anthony, where were you yesterday? Was that you?" Yeah. So,
what would happen if that
taken away?
If that was there when that Alitalia plane was taken off and it got a little close to the engine?
I would assume being able to get one of these things in the purposefully fly it into a moving jet aircraft's engine would be extremely difficult. I gotta say,
if you left it in kind of like the path of where you knew the plane was taking off,
I would assume still it would be very difficult for it to get sucked into an engine like a flock of birds or something. Something like that. It would probably be very difficult. Not that it couldn't happen,
sure, but
I would assume it would be a lot more accidental than somebody on purpose trying to fly it. It would be like threading a needle.
Yeah.
But, there are certain scenarios with these things that could be very, very fucked up. Every year, these things develop more and more the ability to carry heavier payloads. So, years ago, things like strapping explosives to radio-controlled aircraft wasn't very viable because of the weight limitations with a lot of these things. The size was, they'd have to be a lot bigger. You'd have to be pretty proficient in flying these things. The limitation on how far they could fly was also an issue. Now, you're getting these multi-rotor helicopters that have the ability to go beyond your line of sight using remote cameras to fly it so you don't have to see it anymore. That was a big thing. You couldn't just take a helicopter up and take it out of your line of sight to fly it somewhere. Now you could do that. Heavier payloads, which I don't know what shenanigans a terrorist would want to use, but C4 does come to mind, things like that. And being able to remotely pilot it, it is scary.
There's too much protection, especially like say the president speaking somewhere or any other public figure, and you want to bring in. There's just too many bad things you can do with it, or too many honest mistakes that could happen.
Yes, there does seem to be something that is there that, unlike guns, are not protected by a Second Amendment right. You might be able to skirt it with a First Amendment issue of, because. Of course, I use mine for photography.
Yes.
In my case, photography. So me being a member of the media and wanting access to certain things, I may be able to skirt that issue, but I doubt that. There will be regulations. We've talked about this for over a year now, and now it's kind of coming to the forefront here on the news about them wanting to regulate these things. And I just knew it.
Yeah.
I got to fucking Iraq. What Legos should I get? I think I'm just going to play with fucking Legos in my house all day because that seems like a safe thing that the government won't want to regulate my Legos. How about that?
I know, but then the ones you like, they won't make. Like, dude, they're not making Auschwitz Legos.
You think?
Yeah, you can't get real smoke to come out of the stacks.
It's terrible.
All of your hobbies have potential horrible effects on the people around you.
Yes,
but it's not me. I'm responsible.
Yes,
for the most part. But they are able to do dastardly things, is what it is. I mean, somebody was flying it by the fucking runway of Kennedy Airport. There is a radio control, model radio control field right near Kennedy. It's been there for years. And people fly radio control airplanes there and shit. But, like I said, years ago, you take it up a couple of 100 feet at most. You buzz it around within your line of sight. You're not really going too far with these things. Now, with the ability to go further and higher and really know where you're taking it without having to see it, that presents a new problem that the government is absolutely looking into. Already some laws being looked at. I think it was, was it New Hampshire? I don't know. Shit. I always get those states confused. But they're saying they want a law that says you can't even fly these fucking things and have a camera on it. If the camera is looking at people, or any man-made object. So that includes everything in the world.
Buildings and planes.
Yeah. So they don't want you flying this thing and photographing anything that is man-made or people.
That covers every loophole that creeps will try to use. That's all that is.
Right.
Plus, they could also use it for government building surveillance for bad things, not for healthy things. There's just way too many shitty things.
Well, you
can easily do.
That's what it is, and a lot of people are saying. A lot of people that use these things for business, because there are people that photograph people's property. People for some reason want a photographic survey of their fucking property.
Sure.
They want to look at their building complex, and there are heat sensors that you can put on these things and take video of the roofs of buildings to see if heat's escaping and needs a new roof. There are plenty of reasons that people do use these for business.
Sure.
You're going to need some type of license to actually have this for a business. That's already illegal. I think some news agency was using one of these unmanned vehicles to video a gathering, some kind of a protest or whatnot, and they aired it on their station and got in trouble with the FAA because it was commercial use of that. A lot of other people that use it for commercial use don't charge for the video of the drone. They charge for the editing of the video. So it's a way around it. Oh. They're not having people pay them for actually flying the drone and taking the video. It's, well, later we'll edit it and we'll charge you for that. So that's a way to get around that, that you're not allowed to use it for business. But they're really coming down. And with incidents like this is the drone equivalent of
Janet Jackson,
of maybe a gun in a school, but not being used yet. But if something happens where, God forbid, people are hurt because of these things, that will be the equivalent of a school shooting where people die, and the people will come out and say we want these things banned, and there won't be a leg to stand on. There's no Second Amendment. There's no I need this for really. But aerial photography is a weird thing. Unmanned aerial photography. Okay, you're not allowed to take video of people or structures in that one law. What about someone from a helicopter? What about if you're fucking taking video out of an airplane window when, you're over a city, just as somebody on a plane? People do that all the time.
About Google satellite pictures.
Yes, Google Earth, Google Satellite, things like that are coming up already, and people are saying, wait a minute, where does this fall in the whole thing of banning this photography?
Well, everyone doesn't have access to. I think that's the issue.
Uh-huh.
Even though that's certainly a concern, but it's not. Everyone can't go out and just get one.
That's another thing I was thinking about. Also, the fact that they regulate these things, it's not going to, again, stop people that want to use them for bad things. It's not going to stop them.
You know how they'll, I'm sorry, you know how they'll stop it before I forget? One of the things they'll do is they'll go to Apple and these other people, and they won't allow the apps anymore on their, like, you use them on the iPad. That's one of the ways you steer it, right?
That's one for the little ones. But for these big ones, you use radio control units and computers and certain programs that are available, again, out of the country. A lot of this stuff is bought from China. A lot of the electronics, the guidance electronics, and the actual copters themselves, people can order them. You could put them together piecemeal. They can't ban an actual quad rotor aircraft. Let's say that. It's just a quad rotor. You're flying it around like a radio controlled helicopter. Once you start putting GPS and cameras on them and sensors, then it becomes this drone issue, this remotely piloted or unmanned piloted vehicle. That's where the problem will come in, and people will be able to just put these together, and do what they want with it. They're not going to pay attention to the laws.
Right.
I'll be sitting there with a fucking great paperweight in my house, very expensive, nice paperweight, and people that want to do evil will still do their evil with it. So I don't know where this is going.
I hope your aerial photography business doesn't suffer.
Oh, me too.
I was looking forward to all of your foliage shots.
In my case, it is photography. That's why I have this.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. This is just... I'm doing a show for the Blaze on Thursday. What the hell's it called? I'll plug it later.
Gay Men in Radio?
Yes, that was it. That was it. It's an entire hour on drones, civilian use of it, problems thereof, and boy,
it's a hard one to defend because of the.
It's just it.
Guns are at least like a defense issue and constitutional
Right.
issue. This is
just why because I like it.
Yeah,
because it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fun.
Why don't you get yourself a G.I. Joe helicopter and go out to the field and just get it up there 50 feet and just zoom around and pretend to fight? Yeah.
So I just go, frut.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doing a rescue mission, guys.
or one of those frisbee things that you just throw and then it spins around and comes right back to you.
Yeah. Something innocent.
But I like, this is fun.
I know. People also like landing safely.
Cameras on them and, all that fun stuff, technology. Ooh, when that thing takes off, and you're controlling it, come on.
That is badass, dude.
It's fucking cool as shit. But
3 years from now?
Oh, no, forget about it. This is gonna happen real fast, where they start banning the shit out of these things. First, it'll be like around airports, just so they could quickly get something going, and then they might sit down and start thinking about really how to just completely outlaw these fucking things. Well, apparently now the FAA is investigating this case, and the anti-terrorism task force is looking into it. I completely expected knocks on my door.
Is the one that you have just like the one they used in the airport?
Well, they don't know exactly what kind it was. They said it was a black one. They said they saw like red lights on it. Yeah. But,
you know how fucking close you have to be to see the blinking lights and see that when you're on a plane coming in?
I think they said the pilot was about 150 feet away from this thing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's extremely close. Very, very close. Yeah. Somebody's reaming it.
Wow.
Again, it's probably a fucking one of these... It's probably the government doing it. It's the government. They don't want you to have them. So they obviously put this false flag. It's one of these things where, things happen like this and they just ban everything.
150 feet.
150 feet away.
To the left or right, did he say?
I really don't know. It was definitely in his sights, though.
Just says the pilot spotted the unmanned craft hovering 200 feet from his jet 3 miles east of the airport.
Huh.
200
He was flying at about at 1,800 feet.
So he was at 1,800 feet. The other thing's at 1,500 feet.
Looked like a black drone about a meter square with helicopter rotors on the corners.
Sound familiar?
Ooh, on the corners, well, that might be a quad. I have 6 rotors on mine. Oh, boy. Ooh, they're banning the shit out of
Yeah,
it.
I'd love to see
your
that
toys
guy's
are going
video.
away.
Oh, man. Wonder if he had his camera on
get
pointing at the fucking plane.
Pilot's eyes open wide. What the fuck? Looking as he goes
see
by.
the guy, his face. You could read his lips. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, you see like a whole row of people just horrified looking out.
Bunch of fucking Italians.
And you're right about it being so hard to defend because the real reason, the real reason you have guns is because they're fun, but they also serve a purpose of defense and hunting and all that.
Yeah, I like the fact that I'm able to defend myself with a gun.
Right, so at least there's something besides they're fun to have.
Right.
But
Yeah.
with the drone things, it's only...
I'm sunk. I'm sunk on this one.
Aside, of course, from your artistic side.
Well...
And press.
In my case, I do.
Journalistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a journalist. I do like photographing things, and it gives you a new angle.
And how are we going to have our segment on the show anymore where you report
on what I've
your
done with my
findings in
drone?
the sky? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
As a journalist.
This, I wonder if they'll figure out who it was. They'll probably question people down at the flying field close to the airport. Because, I mean, that's probably what it was. Some guy got a little overzealous down at that field and just started flying his fucking drone closer to the airport.
Well, 3 miles away, they said it was. So he may have been in the field and just went higher than you should.
And thought, yeah. And then meanwhile, it's right in the flight path of a plane instead of, to the side or, it's just, it really is just a problem. They're going to act.
They kind of have to.
I know. I don't even know what. Like, I've been just toiling, trying to come up with an excuse. I've been trying so hard to be able to passionately defend these things.
It's got to be
like,
something
no,
to be outraged.
We need. Fuck! I can't figure out why we need them. Because they're cool. They're fun. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Do you want only the government to have drones, man? How about that?
Excellent argument.
Yeah.
People will be like, no, we don't. We want to have them too.
Yeah.
And you're the man who should have one.
Exactly. Correctamundo. Yeah, there's no defense.
No.
And we talked about this and just knew this was coming before anybody really said anything. But boy, once the news hits like this, and now lawmakers are going to start talking about it. It's such a new thing, though. And obviously, the terrorism aspects of these are unbelievable.
Sure.
Like you said, if there's a public figure speaking outdoors somewhere, which they do often, there's nothing keeping somebody from flying that right into somebody.
Or putting a remote control gun on it. Like, maybe they can't do it at this moment, but with the way you could put a gun on that, and then how does the Secret Service protect somebody from that? Like, you could protect from a lot of things and from people, but how the fuck do you protect from the entire...
There's a video online of a multi-rotor helicopter, and someone put a paintball gun on it and flew it around these wooden silhouettes of people and was just tagging them. Pop, 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 pop.
How'd they remote fire the...
All you need is a servo and a switch on your remote. It's easy.
What's
it's
a
actually
servo?
Easy. It's a little motor actuator that moves a little lever, goes pop, 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 and just fucking pulls the trigger. And
wow,
which one is that? Helicopter with paintball gun? No, I think they're shooting the helicopter with a paintball gun. I don't think the paintball gun's on the helicopter, is it? Yeah.
See, the thing is that people don't even... I don't think the average person realizes the kind of technology that's available.
No, they don't.
So now the news can just have a field day and everybody's going to get freaked out.
That's what it is. Everyone's going to get freaked out. They were talking about the drone on Fox, about this drone, which is, really a model aircraft with a lot of technology on it. But they were showing a Predator drone on the screen.
Well, drone is a
so
scary
you're
word.
Assuming that there's this Predator drone someone's flying around near the airport.
What the hell's going on? Everybody's got their own helicopters. What do I need? You just give me a helmet so nothing falls on my head. That's all I need. You go ahead. You go fly yourself to the crazy house.
The crazy house. That ain't it either.
Yeah, but this is...
Has somebody put a paintball on that?
Yeah, this is a paintball gun.
Paintball gun?
Shooting, you can see the pink spots on
a little helicopter?
It's not hovering that far above the
no.
ground. It's like 5 feet off the ground.
That's a regular helicopter and
great footage.
RC. And they're shooting, I guess, a truck with it. But I mean, really, if you have that,
that's the idea.
You could have some type of explosive device, obviously laden with fucking nails and things like that, and just have it explode.
Or
and
felt hats.
Oh, felt hats would hurt people. Or lower a goofy hat on someone's head and make them look silly.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture taken, and now they're stuck with that their whole life.
Right, a big yellow hat. Oh, nerds. And then it flies off with the evidence.
And then he tweets it, and you're just stuck because the internet's forever. And then you try to run for office, and you got a big dumb hat on your head.
Don't vote for Bill Dudley. Look at him wearing a cunt hat here in Schenectady.
I mean, obviously the opportunity for evil is unbelievable. We talked, a while ago about the possibility of just dropping shit into a prison yard.
Yeah.
There's no roofs on those things. You just fly it over and drop some tools of chicanery in there.
Or how about
watch them have some fun?
Heat sensors. Once the heat sensor, that's how you fly it into a plane. If there's a heat sensor on it,
right.
You could direct it right up to where.
You wouldn't even have to. You could probably tie it into the autopilot. I mean, there's an autopilot on there that guides it back home. It guides it to various waypoints that you want it to go to without even having to touch a remote control. You hit send on your fucking computer, and it will go wherever you wanted it to go.
You guys are coming up with a great list of reasons why they should be banning these.
Believe me, this is absolutely everything they will come up with anyway. I'm just saying, the possibilities for evil are astounding.
It's so much easier. Their argument is so much easier than yours.
That I want to photograph things?
Yes.
That I like the idea of being able to take pictures from a few hundred feet in the air and then watch them on my computer and go, look, cool.
Yeah.
That's my argument. And arguments against? The blowing up of aircraft and
destruction of humanity.
People and placing ugly hats on important people's heads. Yeah. They're going to start coming up with these scenarios. I'm really surprised, though, that some evil people haven't already come up with these things and used them.
It might be just too new. Like, it's one of those things that's getting better, and it might not be 100%.
Well, it's not 100%, but I mean, it's probably easier than a lot of shit they've tried in the past.
Yeah.
They don't even have to, like, a terrorist organization wouldn't even have to be successful with one of these things. All they'd have to do is use one. Could you see something detonating near a plane where the pilots are like, something exploded near my plane, and then they figure out that it was some radio-controlled device? The terror, again, it's terrorism. Terror is the word. People would be afraid to fly again. Yeah. They'd be worried shitless. The news would be all over it. We'd be changing our lifestyles again. That right there would be enough to really get people going. I'm really surprised it hasn't been done yet, unless they're planning right now, going, oh no, I listen to Opie and Anthony every morning, and now they are on to us. Oh.
Or the first time they fly one over onto the White House lawn.
Right.
I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, I'm sure that their security there is pretty good.
How good could your security be with a device that's 1 meter wide?
Right.
I mean, you just think about things like, he comes out. They don't have a protection against things like this.
No.
It's crazy.
He'll have to start talking or walking in a bubble all the time, like some kind of a bubble.
Oh, my God, like a Pope
mobile almost, yeah, but when you're walking.
Where you walk like a Segway with a bubble on it. Just the president rolling on a Segway with a big bubble on it.
Stalking your ex. Like even shit like that that's not public figures.
Right.
The way these fucking guys want to spy on their ex-wives and then
just
kill them.
Taking video of where they've been. The paparazzi, they've been looking into this. For filming things, I think these have been seen over sets, Hollywood sets, to video people that are making movies. There's the celebrities. What's this movie about? What's that? I mean, they're being used already to kind of peek into places you're not normally able to peek into. So,
high-profile weddings.
Those things where normally you need a helicopter. You need to, and meanwhile, usually they get the FAA to ban air traffic over a certain area when there's a big wedding. They're able to do that. They say and it's under the guise that it's a danger that so many helicopters are going to be in one area, and they don't want that. So they say, okay, when's this happening? We'll restrict the airspace for these giant celebrity weddings. Meanwhile, this thing, you're fucking, a half a mile away in the woods. You fly this thing over. You could get that thing down fucking within jumping, slapping 12 feet where someone's just out of someone's reach, and you got a camera in their face.
And all of a sudden you're taking pictures of every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Who the hell needs it? Give me a container of coffee. You're crazy.
You just need your container of coffee.
Give me a Polaroid.
You like your Polaroid cameras?
Oh, yeah. Hey, take a look at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just too many problems.
Too many problems.
Too many problems.
But again, like I can't believe more people haven't used these things.
Because they're going to get smaller too, like for bombs and terrorism, but just for the spying aspect. Mm-hmm. Wait. Oh, did you see the footage of the? I think it was. I want to say Garry Kasparov, the chess player, where he was doing a press conference in Russia, and somebody flew their dick. Oh, you saw that?
But flew a remote control dick helicopter. Yeah. It was a big rubber dick with rotors. And it flew in, and it was just above the people's heads. Yeah, there it is. And they're trying to slap at it, but it was too high. And then finally some big bruiser got a hold of it, took it
slapped it down.
But somebody flew a RC penis. Yeah. It says flying RC penis attack.
And arguably the greatest chess player to ever live is trying to talk, and a big cock is being flown at him.
Oh, is that hilarious?
And people were kind of laughing.
Because it's a dick flying around the room.
Taking pictures of it, and the one guy smacks
it across the room.
True cock block.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's fucking funny.
You see people laughing, too.
How could you not laugh at a flying dick? Everyone's laughing.
Flying dicks are owed.
Yeah, so I think we're pretty much on the road to these things being banned, completely banned. I just wonder what they're going to do with regular recreational radio-controlled aircraft, because that's something that's been a hobby for years and years. But those two can now, with the newer technology, do you ban the GPS and the autopilots from them?
Maybe how high they can go?
Yeah.
How is that going to stop anybody that wants to do? I mean, that's going to maybe prevent some accidental
RC control laws
thing happen. RC control laws. Yeah. But a lot of people, they have this is their little hobby.
Not anymore.
What
are you going to do?
But as the technology improves, you need new laws for it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was some kind of ban on something else that was okay, and then it just became too technologically advanced, and they had to say, get rid of that shit.
There's no way to spin it, because there's such a new technology. There's nothing that, and there's no the danger to the public outweighs people's right to hobby. It's too much of it. Common sense. There's too much of a fucking danger. Believe me, I'd love to own one. You think the first thing I thought of is how much great jerk-off footage I could get window to window to window to window. I live in a 40-story building. A lot of potential there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like that. I was into radio control helicopters over 10 years ago, and there wasn't this technology available just yet to really pinpoint these things, to really put them where you want to put them. Right. And it was mostly just a flying hobby instead of photography.
Why don't you get yourself some trains like fucking Bobby Bacala?
Yeah, Bobby Bacala. I'll just have trains.
Yeah, wear a little conductor's hat. Go by the Blue Comet. Do us all a favor.
I don't know. It's fucking... I don't know, because that is something people are really passionate about. RC airplane modeling, things like that. What about model rocketry? I mean, is that at a point? I don't even know what the technology is there at this point. I don't know what the restrictions are, but that seems like something that could get a little dangerous if they start putting any kind of guidance on them. Are you allowed to put guidance fins on those things and send them places? I mean, that's the old Estes model rockets. I used to play with those as a kid. I was quite the little geek.
Yeah.
Quite the little whiny, crying geek as a kid. Loved that shit.
I'm checking the National Association of Rocketry's website to see if there's any restrictions.
Ooh, how'd you get on it? The traffic must be crazy on that thing. Wow.
There is a model rocket safety code.
What is that?
I don't know. Let's see.
I bet you're not allowed to...
This is more of a pledge.
Is it?
Ew.
Oh, I'm going to take the model rocketry safety code pledge.
Should we take it and make sure that we're...
I shall not squat over the rocket nude and fire it up my ass with a D engine.
I will use a countdown before launch.
Oh, that's so geeky, by the way. I never did that as a kid. You're supposed to take the little alligator clips and put it on the igniter, and then you unroll the wire a few feet, away, and then you're supposed to clear. Okay, 10, 9. I just went send it up.
That's okay. You didn't have to do this because this safety code was only effective August 2012.
Oh, what's the new safety code?
Let's hear the safety code.
Oh, it is the new safety code. Okay.
Safety is important.
Yeah. I will use only lightweight, non-metal parts for the nose, body, and fins of my rocket.
All right. A lot of plastic and balsa wood they use, I know.
That kind of goes without saying.
I hear you.
I will use only certified commercially made rocket motors and will not tamper with these motors or use them for any purposes except those recommended by the manufacturer.
All right. I kind of broke that law once. I had an Estes model rocket, and I had a stage photographic flash powder, big fucking can of it, and I unloaded it. I poured it into the model rocket and glued the nose cone on and then sent it up. And I assumed it would go up, and then the parachute ejection charge, it's called, when the motor burns out, the top of the motor actually goes, poof, explodes, and the pressure from that pops the nose cone off and deploys the parachute, and the whole thing comes down real nice, But that parachute charge is hot, so you put wadding between the motor and the parachute, so the parachute don't melt. So I didn't have any wadding, and I figured that heat from that would ignite the flash powder, and it would blow up, and it would look cool. It would blow up in the air. So I send it up, goes up, and then it arcs and starts coming down. And I'm like, oh, shit, it's not blowing up. And it hit my neighbor's roof and exploded. And it blew about 5 shingles off of his roof.
All right, so you broke code number 2.
I ran inside.
How old were you?
Probably 27.
I thought he was 4.
No, me and my friends were having fun.
27. Oh my God.
Yeah, we ran inside the house laughing and then hid from the landlord because I couldn't afford the rent because I was buying model rockets. What a piece of shit.
No, you're fucking just Pete priorities wrong.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All over the place. You have such potential to do terrible things too, but you're a good citizen. But
I try.
It's good for people that you're not a terrorist or a...
Yeah. What other rules let's see if I broke any other rules.
All right. Well, we already know that you broke the countdown rule.
Yeah.
I will ensure that everyone is paying attention and is a safe distance of at least 15 feet away when I launch rockets with D motors or smaller.
No.
And 30 feet when I launch larger rockets.
No.
No? Okay. I will launch my rocket from a launch rod, tower, or rail that is pointed to within 30 degrees of the vertical to ensure that the rocket flies nearly straight up.
Oh, no, I've leaned that fucker over real far to see how far it could go. Yeah, you're supposed to, launch them straight up, but if you pull that thing down and fire it at an angle, it gets some good distance. Yeah, then it becomes a missile.
I will not launch my rocket at targets, into clouds, or near airplanes, and will not put any flammable or explosive payload in my rocket.
All right. That could be a problem. I'm breaking the model rocketry safety code.
You are.
They would kick you out of the National Association of Rocketry.
Yes.
NAR.
They would make you go out and get a girl.
I will not attempt to recover my rocket from power lines, tall trees, or other dangerous places.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Those are pretty much all.
Although I did climb up the telephone pole with a ladder and fiddled with wires to get free cable. But that doesn't,
How old were you?
29.
Your late 20s were awesome.
Yeah.
They were awesome, and I was broke. And they were still awesome.
You ever see those balloons, the footage where they send a balloon up and it actually goes to the edge of the atmosphere?
And
then it spins. They can't control the spinning.
Yeah.
But that
pretty cool.
You can be dangerous just with a fucking balloon in a basket with a little camera on it if you want to be.
You know what I realized? You could probably set off a couple of those rockets from one of those remote helicopters. Set off the rockets, have it filled with something, and just... Oh, man. That would look cool as hell, but I bet that's illegal.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of
not
the
even the
National
rocketry
Association of
code.
Rocketry.
I'm not even talking the rocketry safety code. I'm talking the fucking law, Homeland Security.
You find the FAA quoted the rocketry safety law. Like that's how they base the law on, the rocketry safety code. You're not to use more than a 30-degree angle when launching.
Oh shit, I've done that. Yeah, we're sunk. I used to love those things though. I'd put when I lived in California, I used to catch lizards. Those things are all over the place out there. I'd catch lizards and make them the little lizard astronauts. And I put them in the payload section of the rocket. Yeah. I wasn't I wasn't crashing them in there. But
that's nice. You were just sending them.
There was a
into
separate payload section that's separate from the actual body tube where the parachute is. So you'd unscrew that, and a lot of times it was clear plastic. So you'd put them in there, pop the nose cone on that, and you'd see the little fucking lizard.
They were like those 5-inch lizards.
Yeah, the little ones that are all over out west, and it would just
imagine?
It would shoot up like crazy.
How fucking crazy that would be for a lizard to experience that
with his stupid little lizard brain. Like, what's happening here? Oh,
the
how many G's he must have? Yeah.
Oh
lizards, I'm sure lizards aren't used to pulling a lot of G's.
No.
Little lizards don't do things where they're pulling fucking...
No.
His little face is going back.
Yeah. Rock, water, grass, dirt, rock, water, grass, dirt, repeat. Then all of a sudden, big, greasy Italian hand, glass all over. Everything's going quickly. What happens? Would they die or no?
No, they were fine.
Oh.
I'd let them go. I liked lizards as a kid.
Humanitarian.
My little pals. Well, there were a couple of instances where, due to some type of anomaly, the rocket would crash, and I have lost a few lizard astronauts in the
casualties
in the tragedy. Yeah, it happens.
But it's part of scientific exploration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Casualties happen.
One time the rocket...
sacrifices must be made.
Yeah.
For the common good.
One time the nose cone was a little loose on the payload section, and the rocket went up with the lizard in it, and the little nose cone pops off, and the payload section, all in one piece, and then the parachute comes out, and I guess the jolt from the parachute catching kind of pulled the nose cone off, and the payload section opened with the bottom open, so he fell out of the payload section, just plummeted about.
Did you bury him?
200 feet. I was not able to recover him.
Oh.
He was unrecoverable. It was a tragedy.
Yeah.
MIA.
It was, but you know what? He was a hero.
Yeah. He never...
Yes. He touched the face of God. I gave a little speech.
Before that...
He slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. Yes.
Was that the last time you cried?
No, I didn't even cry over my dead lizard.
Before that lizard met you, its whole life was just being stuck to the ground. And then within minutes, he was falling from the sky.
There would have been no way he would have done that just through his normal course of lizard life.
No.
He might have toppled off a rock and rolled a little down the riverbed embankment or something.
That was biblical shit to him.
Oh, yeah. My God. Right? Think about that. A human walking around, he's grabbed up by something, shoved in a rocket. Ah!
You did give him a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Literally, because that was it for him.
Yes,
You're like the Richard Branson of Lizard World.